Hi, it's Elaine from Penguin Place Crafts, and I'm here to do a recap of yesterday's show. But before I do the recap, I have a victory moment. Well, 95% victory moment. Okay, let's put that down there for a second. I did finish off scrap bag 3 of the Mish Shy Scrappy Challenge with the cake of Christmas ombre. I made Noel the Christmas Chameleon. This is, I think in my pattern it said that it was a free pattern from Yarn Inspirations, but I think I took some liberties. I think I made the legs differently than they did. I'm not quite sure. I've been making it from my typed pattern for so long that I don't know how much I changed their pattern. Then I had some scraps left over in brown, orange, maroon. I made something from my restock list. I made a Glam Chick, Crazy Chick, whatever you want to call her, which finished off the brown. I think I shorted this row, or the body, one row. Okay, let's use that little bit of cream to do a transition here, and then we'll do an orange head, different orange for the legs. Used up the red for tail feathers and wings. So that used up a lot of tiny little balls of yarn. Finished it off. So I have the final bag 4, up on my chair. I'm getting it caked so that I can so that it stays nice and neat in the little tray that I have it in right now. And I'm going to start playing with that yarn. Okay, Saturday show. Got up at 6:30, hoping to be out the door by 7:40. Nah, I didn't. It was after 7:45. I just moved a little more slowly than I should have been. I got there and got a good parking space pretty close to the door. I think it took me 4 trips on my own. On the 5th trip, my friend Joanna's husband came out and helped me carry the rest of the stuff in. So eventually I got all my stuff in. Here's a picture of when I had the table set up and I put my grid up on top of it. The grid was still pallet wrapped, and all set to start pulling out those little cubes and putting the stuff from those cubes either into one of the cubes setting on the table or back into the grid. I did have extra cubes with me, and behind the table I had 5 or 6 cubes that had extras. Like, I only put out about 4 axolotls, and the rest of them were in a little cube behind the table. Okay, so I got it all set up. I was all set up by the time the show started at 10. At 10 after 10. So when I came by, I thought I was going to have my table paid for practically within a half hour of the show, because she looked up at Croci and said, "How much is that alligator?" I took him down and said, "He's $40. And she's like counting her money. And she's just, apparently she didn't have enough money to buy him. I should have said, well, "How much have you got?" I mean, if it was 35, I probably would, okay, take him for 35. But I didn't ask. I should have. She ended up buying my extra large possum for $12. And then just a few minutes later, somebody came along and was rooting through my $5 bin and found one of my bee turtles. It's a turtle, yellow head, yellow and black stripes for the shell. He goes, what is this? Is this supposed to be a bee or a turtle? And I said, it's a turtle pretending to be a bee. He goes, $5? I'll take it. Yay! First score for the $5 bin. $5 bin got a few more scores. Let's see. Then, 10:39. A grandma came along with a little guy, and he was looking through my little basket of birds. Birdies! Birdies! And he picked out the pastel cheeky beakie that I just made. It was to use up the scrap yarn from this last bag, I think. So it was a recent make. $10. I'm getting there. I'm inching closer to having the table paid for. At 11:03, okay, the show's an hour in, someone once again was rooting through my $5 bin and found a little purple and orange pumpkin. Scrap yarn, made up a little pumpkin, put it in the $5 bin. It sold. That took me a little closer. Now I was only $8 away from the table. Then 11:08, somebody homed in on the bananas. Look at this one, look at that one, look at this one. They ended up buying the angry banana for $14. That got me up to $46. The table was paid for. And I need to go through my list and change my math was wrong. I added 32 and 14 and ended up with 48 instead of 46. So all of my numbers are off by $2 here. So I only had $104 in sales instead of 106. Okay. That was the angry banana. Then things slowed down a bit. It took almost half an hour before I got my next sale. Someone came along and homed in on one of the few dragons that I had out. A blue and purple sparkly dragon. Well, it's called Spark the Dragon. I believe it's a free pattern on Instagram. And I had made it with blue sparkly yarn with the thread weight purple yarn held double so that it had sort of a depth to it between the two different yarns, the sparkly yarn and the sort of fuzzy yarn. That sold for $12. Then I sold another cheeky beakie. I am almost sold out of cheeky beakies. It's a paid pattern from the Midnight Crafter. I think I have some in the scrap bag number 4. I think I've got some yarns to make a few of those up. $10. That took me up to $68. $28 profit now. I'm ahead of a bunch of shows. Stripe. Okay, the next one, 12:40. So it wasn't that much longer after that. A woman came along. I think it was grandma and granddaughter. And she's sort of looking around. Oh, look at this, look at this. And the grandma goes, do you have any bunnies? That was one of this totes, the little cube that was behind me. So I brought out the bunnies. And I start pulling them out. And her eyes just lit up at one. I don't know if I have a picture of it. It was an Easter egg shape. An egg shape with ears. And I'd done it in stripes. She loved it. It was $12. She bought it. Yay! About 5 minutes later, someone came along and bought one of my positive axolotls for $9. Come to think of it, yeah. I think the sign that I had up front said 10, but this one was a little smaller than the others, and I said 9. Okay. Somebody picked up. I had a mini hot dog. I used the hot dog pattern, paid pattern by Crochet Customs. It'll be linked. It'll be linked in the description. I made it with a thin worsted weight yarn, so that thing was only about this big. And she's like, this is so cute. Another one for the $5 bin. Then about 5 minutes after that, someone came along and bought my mini rainbow snake for the $5 bin. Using up scrap yarn, made a tiny little snake, only about 5 inches long. $5. Then things were quiet for close to an hour and a half. 2:55, just as people were packing up and leaving. Show went till 3, but people were packing up and leaving. And this mom comes along with a little girl, and she goes, "Oh, look, honey, look at this, and it's only $1." What? I don't have anything that's only $1. Here, give the lady $1. She got it out of this box. Does that say $1? And the little girl comes back, and she's handing, and I look at the mom and I say, "That's a $5 bin." And the mom looks real good. "The lady says you have to give her all of your money." And the little girl hands over the remaining $4 she had in her hand. And I was just like, was she trying to make me feel like, oh, I'm not going to make this cute little girl give up all her money to buy? It just seemed, it left a bad taste in my mouth. Like the mom lied to her daughter to make me look like the bad guy. Like, oh, give the mean lady the rest of your money. That mean lady wants all your money. So, wasn't the best way to end the show. So on my little list of shows, I thought it was unusual that my original incorrect math, I said that I had a net sales of $66. That made 3 shows on my list with net sales of $66. They're all the same school. Is that just, but one of them was when I sold $91 worth of stuff, but the show fee was only $25. Is that it? I don't have the stuff in front of me, and my math is not mathing today. So 3 different shows. Well, now it turns out my net was only $64, $104 in sales, $40 table fee. So it's still right. There are so many of this particular show between the spring and the fall shows clustered right around this $50 to $70 net. That is just like, yeah, that's average for this show. That's how this show goes for me. So this week is going to be all about fine-tuning my booth for Saturday. Not booth, my table. This is the different show. Okay, we can put a picture up here of this show that's coming up on Saturday, November 1st. November already. Yeah, there's also a couple crochet alongs that I need to get something together for this week. Oh, it's going to be a doozy of a week. Okay. Okay, so where my table is at, I have all these little cubby holes behind my table. The cubby holes are 6 inches tall. So if I have items that are 6 inches tall, I just put them in there. Yes, There's going to be a lot of lizards. There's going to be geckos. There's going to be dragons. Since I have 4 of the Sisi Bunny, S-I-S-I. I'm not quite sure if it's Sissy or Sisi. I like Sisi. Sisi, you want to buy this bunny? Like, I'll put them up. Where was I going with this? So I want to draw up a map. A piece of paper. Okay, this is how many of these little cubbies I can fill in. And assign stuff to them and try to pack light this time. So it's not as much. Well, I won't have to take in my grid. Just one table. So it's not going to be that bad. But this can be a good show. It's down in Pennsylvania near my daughter's house, the Black Hawks show in Chippewa Township. And I think I'm going to print out 2 pages for this show. Yeah. High hopes. So what went well with this show? Well, I think that my $5 bin, what I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sales from the $5 bin. Yeah, that's like $25. That's like selling one big item. The most expensive item I sold was the Angry Banana for $14. Big stuff, just, people were looking at the prices and just, yeah. Okay, let's put up a picture of the table. And you see, like, right front and center there, I had the Crystal Ocean Burnett Blanket Bronto. If I had $1 for every time somebody picked that up, looked at the price, and put it back down again, the show would have been higher. Because I think between 15 and 20 times, people picked him up, looked at the price, and put him up. I haven't priced it $20. I do not think that is unreasonable for a stuffed animal that stands about 15 inches tall, made in Burnett blanket yarn. And the little ones that I make in acrylic, I have priced for $12. So when you take an item that's made where the yarn is, well, the acrylic yarn, the yarn for that was probably $2 at regular prices. The yarn for the Burnett blanket, that yarn was probably over $10 at market prices for making that item. And the eyes were bigger, so you got bigger safety eyes that probably were a lot more than little, like 8mm safety eyes. I don't think that $20 is unreasonable for a dinosaur of that size and made with that yarn. But so many people picked it up, put it back down, pick it up, put it back down again. I am amazed that I did not sell any loaf cats. Loaf cats got a lot of attention. Oh, look at kittens for sale. Oh, look at this one. I had at least one person who picked up a loaf cat, looked at the price, and threw it back into the box. People, be polite to the vendors at craft shows. I know I'm preaching to the choir. I'm preaching to the type of people who vend at craft shows instead of the ones who are there buying stuff. But just some people were not gracious and kind and all that. So I know the next time I have a craft show and somebody is there to watch my stuff, I should go around and just spread some kindness. There were some vendors there with little kids, and I'd be like waving to the little kids and complimenting their stuff. I did try to spread some sunshine there. Another thing that was I'm trying. I am trying to stick to my calories and lose some weight. And things have been, the scale has been moving a little bit in the right direction. So, I packed myself limited food. And a lot of times at these shows, there's not much available that's gluten-free. And it was like, even if there was somebody with baked goods 2 tables down. And it's like, I'm not even going to go look and ask if she's got gluten-free stuff because I don't want to know. If there's gluten-free goodies over there, I don't want to know. One bad habit I've had at a lot of craft shows is if it's not going all that well, let's find a vendor who's selling gluten-free goodies or chocolate and drown my sorrows in some sweets. Nope. You packed a nice healthy sandwich, you packed a nice healthy snack, and there's a little Bobo's apple pie bits. Bobo's, they make these little apple pie bites. Just a little, I think it's like 140 calories. Okay, I brought one of those for a treat. Between someone who was sitting right by me, not my friend Joanna, no, not her. She knows, and she was like, nope, in fact, I'm not gonna tempt you. Thank you. There was someone near me who had cookies twice. They went got cookies once, and they went and got cookies again. Pizza, chips, and like the vendors are coming around, the students coming around with a cart with slices of pizza and chips and all that. I know that some of those chips are gluten-free. Nope, don't do it. So it was frustrating in the moment, especially when I sat there from 1:30 to almost 3 o'clock with no sales. I'm getting tired. My feet are hurting. My knees are hurting from standing up and sitting back down again. I wanted to drown my sorrows in chocolate, but I didn't. So, okay. And that got off track. But all in all, it was an average show. Yeah. I sold some stuff. There were moments of just when a little kid found something and their face lit up and they, oh, look what I got. That was good. Now I'm trying to think. I think the grandma who bought, the grandma, she came along and her son or grandson got the cheeky beakie in yellow. And then she came back a little bit later because the granddaughter hadn't found anything. And she's the one who asked about the bunnies. So to see those two just like cuddling their little, like, yes, I found exactly what I wanted. Those are bright moments. I like those moments. So it's Sunday. One thing I need to do, I need to refill my fiber bag out by my chair. I've been making so much stuff, I emptied out my bag. And I have, right behind the camera here, I have a 20-pound box of fiberfill that I am going to pull stuff from and get that filled back up again. Get change into some play clothes. I don't have to start dinner until about noon, which is still half an hour away. So I think I'm going to play with some yarn before dinner. One thing I need to do, somewhere here in this room, I was looking last night, I couldn't find it. There's a box of craft supplies. This Glam Chick needs some shoes on her feet. I have a box that has googly eyes, slap bracelets, foam curlers, Barbie shoes, all these little bits and pieces that I bought for making stuff. And now I don't know where I put it. I thought it was that blue box right there. It's not. The box used to be up there. I moved it someplace when I moved pattern books up there. I still have not found out where I moved it to. So somewhere in the depths of this craft room, there is a box of craft supplies. I need to find it by Thursday night so this little lady can get some shoes, and so she will be all set to display at Saturday's show, because she'll sit well on the shelf in this little 6-inch cubby. Yeah. Trying to think if there were any other pictures that I took that I could put with this. Okay, here we go again. That one. If you see over that side, I'm not going to say whether it's right or left because I know things get mixed turned right here. I added one extra panel to my grid that I can fold, or it flips over, and I can hang stuff from it. I had all of my chickens in baskets hanging there. Not all of them. One that I finished the night before. I didn't have a price tag on it yet, so that wasn't hanging yet. Didn't sell a single one of them. I didn't sell any chickens. I didn't sell any dinosaurs. Strange show. Onward to the next one. I have an idea. Okay, I've only got 2 shows left. I was going to try to get some more in throughout November and December with a local mall. But things are still up in the air with some health issues and weather. We have all these, some sources that are saying that our area is going to get socked with snow this winter. It's been a while since we've had one of these like 5 feet of snow in 1 week type storms. It's been like 2 years. We've had 3 of those in recent years where the snow starts coming and it just keeps coming and coming and coming. It's like, okay. Fridge is stocked. We got food in the basement. We've got a generator if we lose power. Bring it. I'll sit by the wood stove and crochet. I don't want to lose my craft show money by having a show canceled because of the weather. So I'm keeping the schedule sort of light this year. I would love to have every single weekend booked and clear out some inventory, but I don't think that's happening this year. Okay. Find the craft stuff. That is on the agenda. And tomorrow, I can already tell you what tomorrow's video is going to be. Tomorrow's video, oops, Glam Chick just fell, is going to be, it's upside down. There we go. Tomorrow's video is going to be the recap video for the Miss Shy Scrappy Challenge, bag number 3. See you tomorrow.